Watching myself, I think, has been a great thing.
Really?
It's been very hard. Yes. I don't think it should be. I don't know how sustainable it is.
Do you think you make good decisions for yourself? Are you contemplating, are you doing it for yourself, or do you think this is, because when we're in this business, I'm all over the place, but ultimately you want to garner an audience.
Right.
And sometimes we are so critical of ourselves that we'll cut out something that maybe the audience will like. No.
I watch it as somebody who can't control me. I'm watching as somebody who's controlling the podcast. I'm trying to make what's best for the podcast.
But at the beginning of my career, the way I started, if you go look at old videos, I was just terrified. And that terror was my whole act. I didn't have an act.
But it was hilarious.
That's not the point. The point is, I was going, okay, because I couldn't think of what to say. And I'm going, what? Because I didn't understand what they were laughing at. And I carried rubber gloves because I didn't, in case I had to go to a public restroom like you just did, I would have a rubber glove with me. And out of nothing to do, I pulled it over my head and blew it up. It's not like something where I said, tonight I'm going to blow a rubber glove up on my head. So if I would watch it, in my mind, this was just me being terrified and it was embarrassing. But people were responding to it, so I let.
No, you're looking at it wrong.
No, he's that's his truth. That's how he felt.
But he's wrong.
Well,
he's wrong. What he did was hilarious. Well, it was entertainment.
But I find that about you.
The point he's making is that there are multiple perspectives, and yes, you're saying you see.
In retrospect, he's saying I was terrified. I was this. I was
no.
that.
In the moment, I was terrified.
No, but I'm saying when you're analyzing what you did.
That's what he's trying to say to me.
No, but what I'm saying is that he understood what he did was funny beyond.
But so does he.
Else.
I get it. I understand what you're saying.
I find you, like I'm looking back, I feel, I hope you don't take this negatively, but I feel like you're a young me.
I don't take that negatively.
Because I like myself.
Yeah, seeing, I've just met you, but seeing you, and there aren't many people, I guess now there are some more with podcasts, but that are publicly talking about that kind of stuff. And I take it as a compliment when somebody is able to have their challenges and it becomes part of the identity. I don't think it's something we should rely on necessarily. I don't want to be known as the guy who blah, blah, blah. But it is, I like basketball. I don't like to touch things. I'm Jewish. I have a lot of different things. And this is one of them. And I don't edit that out. And I don't edit around it.
Because the key to connecting with an audience, no matter what you're doing, is authenticity. Yeah. They have to believe it. And either you got to be a really good actor or you got to be authentic. You got to be real. And you could, in your case, you're probably both. A really good actor and authentic, right? But to overthink how people are going to perceive something you do or how you show up or what happens in the 10 minutes is too much.
Hear me on this, okay? There's a difference between worrying.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said hear me on this.
There's a difference between worrying about how other people perceive you, other people perceive me. Speaking from my perspective, versus seeing myself on camera and then gaining perspective of like I didn't see myself that way yet, and being able to see myself on camera and seeing some of the things I'm doing and not liking it. Maybe I'm judging. Maybe I'm just trying to grow, and I truly don't know the difference. But like there are times, I'll give you an example. I watch myself in a moment. I'm talking about something that I don't like what we're talking about. I don't know if you could relate to this, but you change the subject, and I
do it all the time.
And I watch myself do that, and I get mad at myself as an audience member watching some guy, even though that guy is me. Let the other person say the thought. What was he going to get to? In the moment, I don't know. So I have now. I'm trying to add on to my tools. If I'm distracted or I don't like what the person's saying or something, give it at least another 15 seconds. See where it goes.
15 minutes. I would give it 15 more minutes.
All right. I think that it's objective. Like maybe the fact that you're not listening or you interrupt or you don't pay attention or you're not catching on or you're doing something might possibly, everything you're saying makes sense on paper, but then if you're just holding for another 15 seconds because you think that looks better, or it looks like you're not cutting people off, or it makes you look more interested, then you lose some of the authenticity, because then it becomes mechanical rather than natural. And here we're all natural except for the fluids going into my body.
Right now, 8 seconds ago, while you were telling me what you're telling me, I knew what you're talking about, but I didn't cut you off to stop you to explain. No, that's not what I meant. I let you finish.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wrote a poem.
Go ahead.
I never used a bidet before until I did. And then when I flushed it, it sprayed my face. I will never use one again, I said, but then I did, because I wanted to wash my face.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
You let him finish.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well, it was a fucking poem.
I'm gonna change and I'm gonna ask you a question.
Go ahead.
About laughing at people.
All right.
What happens when somebody tells you a joke
Right.
Never happens.
and you don't think it's funny? No disrespect. it's
Watch. Let me
hypothetical.
watch
You don't
what
think it's funny.
happens.
I don't laugh, to be honest with you. I don't genuinely.
You're lying.
I'm lying.
Because people come
Please.
people come up to him all the time on the street. Strangers will come up, and it's either deal or no deal, or ask if they could audition for AGT in front of him, or they'll tell him a joke.
Oh, that's the best.
And
Those are
he,
the best.
whenever they tell a joke, regardless of whether or not it's funny, and I'll tell you,
Oh,
most of
they
the
cut.
time it's not that funny. He like pretends, smiles, and laughs.
Oh,
'cause
to a
he's
stranger
polite.
coming up to me in the street, I'll laugh. Is that the question?
In any situation, in any situation where
Like now, if you right now, I don't know you that
Rick.
well, but I've been watching you. I know Rick. But
thank you.
you're welcome. If you, as professionals, if you would ask me, I'm going to open up with this in my next stand-up act, or I want to do this on the podcast, do you think that that's funny, or do you think this is the way to do it? I would answer you honestly. I because of this situation that we're in right now and how I feel about you, and I respect your work. I respect every human being and have empathy, but some stranger who comes up to me in the street and wants to tell me a joke, they want to make me laugh. So I feel like,
It's transactional.
yeah, and even if it's a joke I've heard 1,000 times, I'm not going to say to that person, I've heard this joke, stop, I've heard it a million times. I feel like it's, the fact that you even recognize me in this day and age, when there are 8 million podcasts, 8 million channels,
And you're wearing a mask.
and there's games, and you know who I am, and for me to give you a minute of your time, I feel like I would never have guessed that at this age. I'm an old guy. You're the same age as her, as my kids. I would.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're 37.
You're 37?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Poetry's
You too.
become a
You
big
look like you're 25.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, no,
Poetry-
she's 37 with 2 kids. She's old.
Oh.
poetry has
Thanks,
become a
Dad.
huge part of my life.
Pardon me?
Poetry has become a huge part of my life. I see poetry in almost everything. And for example, I got up one morning and I was having my coffee and I looked out the window and the sun was shining. And I thought, I'm going to write a poem. And because I was inspired by what I saw. So I ran and found some paper and a pen. And I came back to the window, took a sip of the coffee, and I looked out and I wrote this poem. The sun is out and it's shining.
Like in a situation like that,
Right?
where you need to acknowledge it, or the momentum shifts in a place that you don't know where it's going to go.
Hold on, but he loves awkwardness. I think his
No.
sense of humor is awkwardness too.
I live I wake up, if there's one feeling, it's not an emotion, but if there's one feeling that is overwhelming in my life, it's awkward.
It's a poem. He said, good joke, by the way. I said, it's a fucking poem.
Yeah, don't call his poems jokes. He doesn't like it. Very serious.
I call anything that I enjoy a joke.
Well,
Really?
This is a delicious joke. Anything,
Yeah.
because everything.
You eat your jokes?
Well, somebody has to.